Yeah, hi there. This is tuxoch.com. Welcome on my video channel. In today's little video, I want to talk about a little bit about optimizing and reducing file sizes of JPEG images, because I think it's necessary, because modern cameras, you take either your DSLR, your system camera, or even your cell phone, they generate images with 12, 15, 20, 24 megapixel and even more. And it's not necessary to post those even on your own website or on social media, because those big sizes in file size and of course in resolution is regularly not needed for viewing those images on your website or on social media like Facebook, Instagram, and so on. And if you take the advices from the social media platforms, they usually run around 1,000, 1,300, 1,500 pixel on the longest edge at the most. So you don't have to post an image with, like, let's say, like here from my Lumix S5 with over 6,000 pixels on the longest edge. As you can see here in Lightroom, if you use Lightroom for your regular photography, you have of course the option to export JPEGs and then set quality and of course resolution, because that are the two parameters to reduce the size of the resulting image. First of all, you can reduce the size. As I mentioned already, you can reduce it like to 1,000 or 1,500 pixels on the longest edge. And of course, you can reduce a little bit on the quality, reduce it like to 80, 70, or even 60%. And that is, I think, quite good enough for posting an image on social media. But Lightroom or even Photoshop, which has a specialized function for exporting web legacy images, is not available for everyone. And even I own Lightroom and Photoshop. I could use it, but most of my screenshots, like on my blog, are not imported into Lightroom, so I have to find another solution for reducing the size of my images. And the first two tools I want to show to you are OpenView and Fairstone Image Viewer, which are quite similar in the functions they offer to the user. And I want to show it here on the desktop PC in the Windows installation. Okay, we got here a pretty freshly installed Windows 10 system. And here we got our pictures. I got a sample here of those 6 pictures, and as you can see here, if I go to Properties, you can see that even one shot is 13 megabytes in size, in file size, and the resolution is 4,000 by 3,000 pixel. Okay, that's way too much for presenting those on the web page or on social media, so we have to reduce size and get a little bit of the quality. Okay, the first one is OpenView. That is free software, and here under File we got the option to batch conversion and rename of files. And here we go to the pictures I just showed to you. Pictures library, and we take those, mark those, and pull them down here. And now we can go here to the JPEG options, and like this one, reduce the quality of the JPEG output files, like let's say in this case to 60% or to 70% or whatever you like. You probably have to test this out for your pictures, which one fits the best. We just leave that one here to 60. And then the second way to reduce is the reduction in size of the pictures. And here we take a resizing of 1,000 pixel on the longest edge. And of course we can do, that is what you decide on yourself, to add a logo or watermark on these pictures, you just have to get yourself a PNG file with the transparent background and all there is to it. We hit OK here and that one, and then we have to, of course, determine the folder where the converted images should be stored in. We just take here the temp folder. Let's just look if this is empty or existent. Okay, if it's non-existent, it should be okay. And now we start the batch conversion. And if you're playing around with the settings, I advise you to return to batch so all settings will be kept in place and you can judge your images. We go to the temp folder. We got here, and here we got the reduced images. Okay, open that one in OpenView. That might be a little bit better. And here we got the reduced size. That's 1000 by 750 pixels. And the size for this image is now only 225 kilobytes, which is a pretty nice reduction in size, but still that image should be enough to place it on social media or maybe on your own website, depending on the resolution you're getting there. Maybe you could reduce the size of the logo. That's up. That's a matter of personal taste. That's what you have to play around with. Okay, we delete those images here. Okay, let's take the Fastone image viewer, and then now we go to Tools, Open Batch Convert, and here we got almost the same procedure. We go to the pictures, like so, add them to the Tools section, and now we can here, just like an OpenView here, reduce the size, let's say to 60% like we did in OpenView. And we have the option to use advanced option that is meant to be for placing watermarks in the images or reduce the size. Let's say, for example, here, resize to 1000 pixels on the longest edge. And here you got the results. We just hit convert. Oh, output folder. Sorry for that one. Let's take the temp folder like before, hit convert, and then all should be set. And here we got a statistic or a table from the original size and the reduced size, which is pretty good. And now we take a look on the reduced images, like you can see here. And here we got a reduced size of 167 kilobytes. That's pretty impressive. And we could have taken or inserted a watermark if we like to. Okay, hit those. And the last option I want to show to you is go to Firefox or any other web browser and go to TinyPNG. I just mentioned it because TinyPNG can be used for reducing sizes of PNG and JPEG images too. You load up your images, but that requires that they are already reduced in size. As you can see here, that only a maximum of 5 megabyte each is allowed. And then you get a zip file for downloading where you can download the reduced images you just uploaded. TinyPNG, by the way, is also available as a plugin for WordPress. And as you can see here, it is also available as a plugin for Photoshop. As you can see, the functions are pretty similar in usage. You can reduce the size, you can reduce the quality of the image, And in both cases, you can even add a watermark to your image if you like to, and you can do that for all images you feed into the tool, either that is OpenView or Fairstone Image Viewer. So mainly I prefer OpenView for that. I used to export my images like with a setting of 80%, but in the past time I realized that 80% is much too much for the quality of a JPEG image, which is only 1000 pixels on the longest edge. So I reduced that to 60%. That's even good enough, and maybe the last fine detail of an image is washed out or is not visible anymore because of the impression, but I think that's mostly okay, especially for those images I use for my screenshots and so on. They don't depend on the last fine detail in the image. That is for reviewing purposes only. But you're not bound to Windows, as I said before. I tried here JPEG Optim and Mogify on a Linux installation, in this case Ubuntu, which I show to you here. Okay, as you probably noticed by now, I am here on a Linux system, Ubuntu. I installed on my other PC just to show here that reducing the size of images is of course also possible with the Linux system, maybe even better. Okay, here we got our example images. Just take that one here, and here you can see that it's way over 5000 pixels on the long side and has a size, of course, from more than 22.4 megabyte, which is a pretty good size, I guess. And the same is like here with this one, 6 by 4000 pixels, and that is even 21.6 megabyte in size. Okay, I want to work on the command line because that's maybe a little bit easier, and I wrote a little script to reduce size and quality. And here you see that the width I set to 1000 pixels, and I set here the quality to 40%. Of course, you could choose any other quality which fits the best for your workflow, of course. And then I used JPEG Optim, first of all here with the strip all option, to delete all comments and EXIF data from the image, which could, depending on how many keywords like from Lightroom export and so on you got in the image, could reduce the size a little bit at least. Then I reduce the quality and save those resulting JPEGs in the same folder. And then I go over with the Mogify tool to resize the images to 1000 pixel in on the longest edge and save them into the same folder. You could do that in, I guess, one call, just only with Mogify, because Mogify has also an option for reducing the quality from a JPEG file. And as far as I know, it can also strip some of the EXIF metadata from a JPEG file too. Okay, we go back to the command line. And now we call this one. And now you can see that it reduces the size and the quality, and then it reduces the resolution here in pixel. You saw that here in the window here. We have to press F5 to make this image visible. And now if we take the same image like before, you see that it's only got 1000 by 700 pixel and a reduced size of 121.2 kilobytes. And the same is of course true for the other one, like this one. That's even more reduced, and it's only 82.5 kilobytes. Okay, that's so far from the Linux side. As you can see, the combination, okay, it's a command line combination. If you don't fear that, that is a pretty good tool to convert very quickly the images, converting them in quality, reduce the resolution size, so you get very small images as a result. And if you like that, you even can use Mogify and the JPEG Optim apps on Windows, because they are available for Windows System too, and I think they're also available for Mac OS, but I'm not sure because I do most of my stuff either in Windows or in Linux so far. There is another option that is like websites like TinyPNG. They offer a web service where you can upload your images, and then they optimize them either in quality and in resolution size, or even both. And then you can download the optimized images. Some of those services, you not really know what they do with the images you upload. Most of them say they will delete it after 60 minutes or so on, but I'm not sure if they really do that. But on the other hand, TinyPNG and other web services have upload limit, either for the complete upload of a set of images or for one image only. That's in case of TinyPNG 5 megabyte. So you have to find a tool to reduce the size of your images if you export them, like say from your system camera in the first place, so you don't hit the upload size. Because if you, let's take full-size JPEG from my Lumix S5, you are around 10, 12, 50 megabytes, depending on the details in the image. And of course, you have another disadvantage in this case. You can't add watermarks, as far as I know, and you can't add or change the parameters, like reducing the size and or the quality to your needs for your workflow. So it might be the better choice to stick with tools like OpenView and similar toys you find for Windows and for Linux and even for Mac OS systems. I did a comparison on the resulting sizes in the with the different tools, and here the OpenView did probably the best job, and a little bit in size bigger were the combination of Mogify, JPEG Optim, and I did some tables on this. I will place them into the corresponding blog post, so I won't show you here in the video. What I show you here in the video is a comparison between 100% JPEG image and those ones converted with those tools only to 50, or only to 40 or 60% quality. And I think for an image which only has 1000 pixels on the longest edge, at least 60 should be good enough, and sometimes at even 40 you come away with, depending on your need and how much details the image will contain. Okay, that was my little review on tools for resizing and optimizing your JPEG images for publishing them on either websites or social media. If you have any questions to this, you might as well place those questions in the comment function here of this video, or in the comments of the corresponding blog post. And if this video was a little bit helpful for you, you might think about placing a like on the video. And surely would be happy if you subscribe my channel, but then don't forget to hit the bell so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. Okay, that was all for today on optimizing and reducing sizes of JPEG images, and all I have to say is till the next time, ciao, Tux Oche.